Hey guys, Crypto Sunday, although I'm filming this on Saturday night. So there's no sugarcoating this week. It's been a poor week. Quite a few sort of developments, which I will come to. But yeah, everything's sort of in the red a hell of a lot. So about just over 40,000 down since the last video on Sunday. So yeah, that's rough. This was partly due to the crash in Terra. So it was an algorithmic stable coin. It's not sort of backed by the sort of usual cash and treasuries that sort of Tether and USDC would be backed by. This was backed by an algorithm with so you've got Terra UST and Terra Luna, and they sort of basically sell one and buy the other to sort of constantly keep the Terra USD at $1. But there was a very large attack, sort of seeing a bit of weakness, I guess, and thought they could sort of profit out of it, and somebody did a great deal from what I gather, and it collapsed. So the Luna sort of, or the UST fell away from $1 quite significantly, and they were sort of printing Luna very, very heavily to buy up the UST constantly, and people just kept attacking the other side. So it's sort of the dilution on Luna because they kept printing and printing it. I think there's now about 18,000 times the number of tokens that there was before. So yeah, when you see in stocks, you know, sort of 10% dilution, everyone gets very annoyed. This is sort of 1.8 million% dilution. So yeah, it's essentially makes everything that people were holding pretty worthless. So yeah, that's kind of shook the whole market, and sort of everything, from what I gather, everything that Terra were holding in Bitcoin, they have pretty much liquidated. So that sort of made a fair hit to the markets. So they were holding sort of getting on for $3.3 billion. They sort of bought $1.5 billion and weren't able to basically get it backing the tokens quite yet. So they were only holding about 1.5 billion that was actually sort of backing it. So maybe if they'd have been given a little bit more time, it would have been a little bit better. But yeah, that basically got all sort of sent to exchanges, and yeah, that's sort of caused a great deal of red in the market. Sort of drop in Bitcoin, and then all the other sort of coins followed it. So that certainly hasn't helped, but sort of it's not a fundamentally negative thing for Bitcoin necessarily. It's just a large holder selling. It doesn't really affect the Bitcoin network itself, so don't see it as too bad. In other news, Coinbase have sort of released their earnings, which were very, very poor. I've sort of said since people have asked me about Coinbase, and I've said since the IPO really that I thought it was a poor share to hold. Don't think it's going to follow Bitcoin or crypto sort of long term. It's a platform that I use, but I wouldn't want to hold the stock because I think there's an awful lot of competition sort of elsewhere. And I'm sort of using FTX as sort of a lot of my crypto purchases. But part of their earnings, there was some interesting sort of comments about, and it's sort of making the headlines, basically saying if they were to go bust, then your crypto isn't your crypto, which to a lot of people will be no surprise. The sort of phrase, not your keys, not your crypto, is sort of very popular, and it's why a lot of people sort of would buy and then withdraw straight from the platform and sort of put it on a wallet. So if you want to do that, depends on sort of how much you've got. If you're sort of buying, £10, £20 at a time, then you may not want to pay the fees, or it may not even be worth your while paying the fees to remove it. You may as well just sort of leave it on the platform. But yeah, if you're buying sort of £1,000 at a time or something, then yeah, you may want to sort of pay that fee to get off the platform and sort of keep it safer. So you can either buy a sort of Ledger or Trezor, various sort of hardware wallets, and sort of store it on that, or you can get a software wallet where it's sort of on the phone or on desktop, and yeah, you can sort of store it on there. You can make backups, back up your seed phrase, sort of as most people will know if they've got a wallet, and you sort of keep your seed phrase secure. So if your phone or laptop goes down, then you just sort of get a new one and recover the wallet on the new one with your seed phrase. So I kind of see software wallets as the sort of compromise middle ground between just leaving it on exchange and sort of buying a hardware wallet, sort of being free. Obviously, you've just got to pay the fees to sort of move it there. So yeah, this interesting sort of development from Coinbase here. Both they're defending it, of course. Brian Armstrong sort of saying we have no risk of bankruptcy, which I think is a bit much. There's always going to be a risk, however small, of bankruptcy. So they're saying the sort of prime clients would have legal protections and that sort of thing, and they would protect their assets, and they're looking to sort of roll that out to retail customers. But yeah, it's not enough for me. I don't leave a huge amount sort of on any exchange, basically. There's a little bit of sort of coins there that I just couldn't be bothered to move off, but yeah, or sort of coins that I thought I was maybe going to sell in sort of shorter term than everything else. So I leave a little bit on there, but nothing much. So yeah, looking at the portfolio for the week, obviously everything's down. Bitcoin has sort of taken the largest monetary value off, but is only 15% down. So that's not done quite as bad as the altcoins. Ethereum 22% down. And then we start getting the bigger percentages. So yeah, Solana nearly 35% in a week. That's pretty rough. Cardano 30%. Kronos 31.6. So most of them are sort of in the 30s range. OMG network 30. XRP 27. Not quite as bad, but still pretty bad. Power Ledger 37.5, so that's got hit pretty hard. Small cap, so no surprise there. Basic Attention Token 27. Internet Computer 30. Audius got hit really hard, 43%. It was down a lot more at points, sort of under 30 pence. So yeah, sort of considering buying a little bit more here. Not seeing too much development from their side, but the sort of streaming customer numbers still seem reasonably good, even if they are going down a little. And yes, then I had a little bit of a dabble on sort of with the drop on Terra. I sort of stuck a little bit in a couple of days ago, and that sort of risen up. So yeah, made about sort of £40 on that, and thought I'll stick it into have a little sort of dabble on the 3x long tokens. Could have gone for sort of Bitcoin or Ethereum, but I thought might as well have a little gamble on Cardano, see where we go, and yeah, we'll see. So a rough week. You got to take that as they come. and yeah, hope we can sort of see a recovery going forward. So leave your thoughts in comments below and like and subscribe. See you soon.